Rise, we've got
the news with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us on this Wednesday morning. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And, you know, we got to talk about today, but we can't not talk about yesterday. It was incredible.
Beautiful day yesterday. It was gorgeous. Even got to see a red sun, and there's a sneak peek on what we might see for our photo of the day today. Yesterday, I talked on social media. Send in your sunset photos. So if you had taken one yesterday, be sure to submit them now before I pick it in about a few minutes. A look outside right now across central New York. We begin in the 50s, pushing 60 in a lot of the area. But you can see here, we got that haze, that wildfire smoke way up in the atmosphere. We're going to talk a little bit about that coming up in a few minutes. But here's a look at those temperatures. 56 in Rome, 54 Hamilton. Relatively clear skies across pretty much all of upstate New York, as well as dry conditions on the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. We have almost 3 days of dry weather. This is something we haven't seen in quite a while. So again, what we're tracking, hazy skies, air quality, not going to be a big concern, but it will have a very minor impact. The heat and humidity definitely is here today, and you will feel it, that's for sure. And then on top of that, we are tracking some thunderstorms that develop tomorrow afternoon. We'll break down the timing of that in a few minutes. But again, today's highs, look at this, upper 80s, excuse me, and lots of sunshine. This is cutting it close to our record high, too. We'll have all that and more coming up in that full forecast. Gary?
Not used to saying the upper 80s, are you?
I know, right? It's been 70s, upper 50s. Yeah. It's been a while.
Eric, thanks. New this morning, at least 2 former...
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Welcome back, everyone, on this Wednesday. Time now is 5:11. Temperatures already in the upper 50s. It's going to turn out to be a pretty warm day today. And with the fact that we haven't really experienced true heat yet this year, it's going to even feel a lot more warm, along with that humidity, of course. But here's a look at what's going on outside. A live look from our tower cam in Deerfield. Temperature 56 degrees, something to note as well. We're looking at that haze out in the distance. Really, the only notable thing you're dealing with today, aside from the heat, it's going to be sunny. Zero concerns on the traffic tracker this morning, and again, the radar also looking dry. So when you head out the door today, temperatures begin in the 50s and 60s. Faded sunshine, grab those sunglasses. On your evening commute, you'll likely see a red sun again, similar to yesterday. And but of course, you need those sunglasses. It's still going to be pretty bright out either way. But today, we're looking at those high temperatures, the air quality, as well as what we can expect for storm potential tomorrow coming up in that full forecast. Gary?
Eric, thanks. State Senator Joe Griffo has announced...
The Oneonta Cam is brought to you by Semicron Danfoss. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone. Beautiful day yesterday. We're tracking another beautiful day today. In fact, I would say even warmer, a little more humid, as well as the potential for that hazy sky yet again. A live look at downtown Utica. We can see that in the distance here from our Nexus Center camera. Temperature starting out today at 56 degrees. And the dew point at 50. This is going to continue to rise throughout the morning as that south wind really kicks in. Around the state, you can see similar temperatures too. And with the daytime high today expected to climb to the upper 80s, just a heads up that may be a great day to go out and get some ice cream. I know it's not really been a spring for ice cream so far, but I think for this spring, or at least this day or so, looking pretty fantastic for it. So anything outdoors today, just a reminder, make sure you stay cool, especially for those of you who work outside. Make sure you pack an extra cold water or anything that you can make sure you stay cool and hydrated during the warmest part of the day today. So this is all driven again by this strong surge of a south wind. We're seeing that red zone there. Then that cold front sweeps through tomorrow, and that'll bring in some scattered thunderstorms. For now, I don't think it's going to be entirely widespread, but of course, with this front moving through, it's not expected to be completely dry either. We're also looking at this wildfire smoke moving in from the northwest, and this today, similar to yesterday, will have a minor impact on air quality, right in between the moderate and the unhealthy for some, so level 1 or level 2 out of 4 here. So if you're unusually sensitive to particulates in the atmosphere, air pollution, you can limit your time outdoors, but for pretty much most of central New York, you have really no issue with the air quality today. So the Skycast picking up on sunshine and that summertime heat in late spring. We're already in the mid to upper 80s this afternoon. Still dry and relatively cloud-free, too. Then those clouds roll in tomorrow. There are those thunderstorms that move in by the mid-afternoon. And that cool down really isn't going to be too much of a cool down. We're in the 60s by Friday morning and eventually in the low 70s by noontime on Friday. So your 7-day forecast, hazy skies today, sunshine turning to thunderstorms Thursday. And I mean, this is pretty great. The cool downs we're seeing, we're not looking at 40s and 50s. It's 70s, it's 80s. I mean, we're going to enjoy this stretch of warm weather. Yeah, it might not be entirely dry and sunny every single day, but as long as it's a warm day, that's what makes it count.
Yeah, definitely a big change from what we've seen. Eric, thanks. The time right now is 5:20. Still ahead on Sunning Us for this half hour. I'm Gary Libitor. Meteorologist Eric Gage is over in the Weather Center. And Eric, today you are tracking the 3 H's, right?
Yes, hazy, hot, and humid today. And it's going to be hot, humidity on the rise, the haze more so from wildfire smoke, actually. In fact, a look outside, you can see some of that haze in the morning sky, especially with that early twilight there in Oneonta. That sun started to peek over the horizon, but again, still a lot of that thick smoke way up in the atmosphere. Again, a lot of that, the key here, up in the atmosphere. There will be some minor impacts to air quality today, but for the most part, it will be elevated. Still, temperatures across the region in the 50s, plenty of sun across the state, and the radar also looking dry early this morning. So again, what we're tracking, the latest on air quality as that haze continues to move in from the Canadian wildfires. Heat and humidity are here, and then we are also looking at the development of some thunderstorms tomorrow. We have 3 days straight of dry weather. Of course, you know that will have to come to an end at some point. So today, it's mainly dry. Temperatures, you can see here, in the upper 80s. It's going to be a pretty warm and humid one today. We are looking at, again, the impacts on air quality and the arrival, the timing of that rain tomorrow coming up in that full forecast. Gary?
Eric, thanks. And don't forget, the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away each morning. President Trump is facing
The Storm Tracker 2 team, where we track storms. The Oneonta Cam is brought to you by Semicron Danfoss.
Wow, what a shot right there of the morning sun in Oneonta. Good morning, everybody. Yesterday on social media, I asked for submissions of the red sun. I tried taking it with my phone. My camera was really not that great of a quality, so I turned it to some of you who are, some of which who are experts at the photo taking process, and there were a lot of great submissions. It was hard to pick the best one. In fact, some of these actually are pretty evenly matched when it comes to the quality. So again, amazing shot sent in by almost everyone from our website. But this one here, sent in by Angela from Secaucus, really grasps just how red this sun was out in the distance there. It's difficult to try to get this in a camera too because of how bright the sun is and how dim it makes everything else when you have to turn down that exposure for the camera. So amazing photo right here sent in from Secaucus. So shout out to those of you watching from Secaucus this morning. And we are looking at a better opportunity for a red sunrise this morning. You have another opportunity of taking photos like that today, even potentially a red sunset tonight from that wildfire smoke. So it's hazy It's very warm today. It's warm tomorrow. Thunderstorms develop by the afternoon hours. We'll see that continue for Friday, some scattered thunderstorms. Saturday, it's going to be, at least for now, the latest trend points towards rain showers initially, followed by some clearing in the afternoon. Maybe still cloudy skies, but drying, the key here. And then Sunday, drier the 2 weekend days. We'll have more detailed look at this forecast, the exact timing of that rainfall, and more in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. The Herkimer Salvation Army hosted its 30th.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone. On this Wednesday, it was a beautiful day yesterday, another beautiful, in fact, warmer day today. Now, before we get to our forecast, of course, I mentioned we had a lot of submissions of that red sunset yesterday, and I'm going to go through some of them too, because again, it was so difficult to pick our official photo of the day. This was sent in by Michael moments ago. Look at this beautiful shot of that fiery sunrise or fiery sunset in the distance there. Jay sent in this photo. Again, you got to take down that exposure a whole lot to really view the sun. In fact, some of these photos, actually, you can see some of the sunspots as well. Very faint here. This one was sent in by Charlene, and then finally this photo sent in by Michelle. So again, so many submissions. Thank you to all of you who have taken the time to do it. Look at this sunrise out there in Oneonta right now. It is a beautiful shot. I might have to turn down the exposure on this camera too to actually see the full extent of that sun. As a matter of fact, right now I'm going to go do this behind the scenes here. I actually want to see what this looks like with that fiery red sunrise out in the distance here. But again, today we're expecting hazy sunshine and temperatures to climb into the upper 80s. It's going to be a very warm day today, and nearly wall-to-wall sunshine aside from this haze here. So in just a few seconds here, I'm going to turn down the exposure, and let's see what this looks like here. If I turn down some of the brightness here, let's see what this does. Yeah, we got some red sun moving in right here. Beautiful shot there in Oneonta. But again, we've got hazy conditions, temperatures beginning in the 50s right now, and that'll continue to climb. With the very warm weather today, it's going to be a fantastic day to go out and grab some ice cream. I know it hasn't really been a season that was favorable for going out and getting ice cream, but today is definitely the case. Temperatures peaking in the mid to upper 80s with lots of sunshine. So we are tracking wildfire smoke. That's going to move in from Canada. The official forecast for now, we're not expecting a huge impact on air quality, but it's still going to be there. So if you are unusually sensitive to particulates in the atmosphere, limit your time outside today. Either way, this is not going to be impactful for pretty much the majority of those of you who live here in central New York. Today's temperatures peaking upper 70s, eventually into the upper 80s. And just a heads up, if you work outside today, to pack an extra cold water to make sure you're hydrated and cool as you spend your time outside today. But again, your 7-day forecast, temperatures in the 80s today, low 80s tomorrow, thunderstorms Thursday and Friday, passing showers Saturday. Overall, 70s and 80s expected for the next 5 to 7 days. We'll be right back.
With Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us here on this Wednesday morning. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And get ready for the 3 H's, but one of those H's is from Canada, right?
Yes, we're not seeing a fresh delivery of humidity from the south. It's more so that haze from the Canadian wildfires. So we're tracking that, plus, of course, the heat and humidity on top of that, too. So hazy, hot, and humid today. A live look across central New York on the cameras. You can see here that beautiful shot of that red sun in Oneonta right now. But for the most part, all of our cameras picking up on that haze. The skies will appear to look a lot like this today. Despite being cloud-free, the skies won't be entirely blue. So that's the case, what we're dealing with today. And actually, some of that will have a very minor impact on air quality. Temperatures already reaching the upper 50s, near 60 today already. It's already 66 degrees out in Buffalo. They're going to expect a very warm day today, as well as us. We're going to expect a warm day today as well. Radar right now is entirely dry. We are tracking again hazy skies. We'll have the latest on the air quality forecast coming up in a few minutes. The heat and humidity, they're both here today. And we are tracking some thunderstorm chances by tomorrow. So we get 3 days of dry weather, and that's pretty much about it. Mother Nature has other plans for us, but it won't be nearly a washout. We'll explain why. We'll talk about the timing of that rainfall, as well as that haze today, and if we will continue to see this heat moving forward coming up in that full forecast. Gary?
Eric, thanks. And don't forget, the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away each morning. At least 2 former
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Welcome back to Sunrise. Time now is 6:11. As you head out to work today, we are looking at dry weather, sunshine across the board. Grab those sunglasses. No need for an umbrella today, but also dress like maybe if you have the ability to, if your work allows you to wear shorts. Fortunately for me, they don't make suit shorts, but it is going to be a very warm day today. A live look from our tower cam facing the eastern sky in Deerfield. Temperature already at 57, and we can see that hazy sky this morning from that wildfire smoke. Traffic tracker looks relatively quiet early this morning. There appears to be an accident closer to the Syracuse area on the thruway, but the road does not appear closed at this time, so no true impacts to the traffic this morning as well. Radar is dry, and today we are looking at temperatures in the 50s and 60s this morning, climbing into the upper 80s by this afternoon. Lots of sunshine and increased humidity as well. We're going to notice that. You're going to notice the humidity, or I should say the haze in the sky. But will this warmth continue? We'll have the details on that in a few minutes. Gary?
Good day for a pool.
Pool day, ice cream day maybe.
Oh, yeah, I like
Beautiful
that
day for that.
Eric, thanks. Well, State Senator Joe Griffo has an...
Swell your day. Watch for the Storm Tracker 2 Commutecast and be ready for your drive to and from work. The Storm Tracker 2 Commutecast is brought to you by the Pratt Munson College of Art and Design. Visit Pratt Munson today and ignite curiosity and creativity. The Oneonta Cam is brought to you by Semicron Danfoss. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone. We are now entering day 3 of almost entirely dry weather. The sun has been beautiful. We've also been dealing with that wildfire smoke, and that has allowed us to see some pretty cool sunsets and sunrises. Here's a look at some of those photo submissions from social media. Yesterday evening, I asked for those of you who are a lot better with a camera than I am to send in some photos. This was taken by Michael. Then we have other photos sent in by Jay with a lower exposure, allowing for the better view of the sun, but also it makes everything around it a little dark too. So that's one of the things about photographing the sun is you have to really turn down that exposure. There's another one photo right here sent in by Charlene. And then lastly, this photo by Michelle. This is when you leave it normal exposure. Of course, beautiful shot here. You can kind of see how the skies appear in comparison to that sunshine. Here's a live look at Oneonta right now where that sun appeared red initially. It's going to start feeling or looking a little bit more orange-like and yellow-like this afternoon from that smoke in the atmosphere. Temperatures peak in the 80s today. It's already in the upper 50s right now. With that warm weather, it's a great pool day like Gary said earlier. It's a great ice cream day. We haven't really had prime ice cream-like weather the past several weeks, past several months. Today is that day. No excuse to go out. Well, maybe if you don't want to eat the calories of ice cream, but maybe today is your cheat day. Get out and enjoy the warm weather because it's going to be warm. Upper 80s, pushing 90. Now, there is some indications we could hit the 90-degree mark, which is the record high temperature for today. But the thing that's going to combat it is this haze. When you have smoke in the atmosphere, it acts as a bit of a dimming effect. It prevents that prime energy from really reaching the surface. So we could hit it, but I'm thinking we're going to lean more towards the upper 80s if that. But even though the skies are hazy, there is some minor impact to air quality today. So if you are unusually sensitive to particulates in the atmosphere, if you know that, just avoid spending too much time outside today. But for most of us, this really will have little to no impact at all. So today, sunshine, temperatures into the upper 80s. By tonight, clouds increase a little bit. We are looking at a dry start to your Thursday. By the mid-afternoon, between 2 and 5 p.m., we'll see a few scattered showers and thunderstorms pass over us. But the surprising thing is that cold front really isn't going to cool things down too much. That cool down goes from the upper 80s to the upper 70s, which I think a lot of you will take upper 70s as a cool down. And in fact, it remains in the 70s for the next several days. It's going to be a pretty nice stretch of weather. Maybe the coolest we're going to see is Saturday, but even then, low 70s, upper 60s, not too bad.
Sunday looks pretty gorgeous.
Yeah, beautiful weather moving in to at least early tomorrow, and some pockets of nice weather the next few days.
Eric, thanks. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us. And thank you for joining us for this half hour. I'm Gary Libitor. If you like the 3 H's, get ready for today. Meteorologist Eric Gage is tracking hazy, hot, and humid conditions in the Weather Center. Hey there, Eric.
Hey, Gary. Yeah, that's right. It's going to be hot. It's going to be humid, and the haze, well, from wildfires pretty much. Now, we're not going to see a whole lot of impacts in air quality near the surface, but as you see across the area right now, it's going to cause some faded sunshine. Already caused a red sunrise. It caused the red sunset last night, and either way, the skies are going to appear milky and not crystal blue like would normally happen if these wildfires were not taking place in Canada. The temperatures this morning are beginning in the upper 50s, climbing into the 60s, eventually 70s and 80s by this afternoon, cutting it close to 90, which is the record high temperature, which it's off screen right now, so I can't see the record when it was actually set. But either way, 90 is the official record high today, and we're going to be cutting it close to it. The radar is looking dry today. We're expecting completely dry conditions, and not only that, we have the haze in the atmosphere. We're going to explain in a few minutes what causes the sun during the sunrises and sunsets due to this wildfire smoke to appear red. Why is that the case? Plus, along with the heat and humidity, we've got some rain showers we're tracking tomorrow. But again, today's high temperatures in the upper 80s, plenty of sun. We're going to look at that rainfall forecast as well as how long this heat lasts in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. And don't forget, the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away. President Trump is facing...
Channel 2 is brought to you by Holland Farms Bakery in Delhi. The Oneonta Camp is brought to you by Semicron Danfoss.
Welcome back, everyone, on this Wednesday. We got some hazy skies out there this morning. In fact, with that haze yesterday, we were able to see a pretty beautiful sunset, a red sunset. And we had 10, close to, I believe, 50-plus submissions here. And it was difficult to pick a photo of the day. And I showed some of those photos earlier. And again, this was just one of those photos that stood out to me from Angela in Secaucus. So shout out to Angela, and of course shout out to those of you watching from Secaucus this morning. Your photo was picked for a photo of the day today. And you've got that view of the red sun as well as the trees in the foreground, kind of showcasing just how unique this type of setup takes place. Because of course we do see a reddish sun closer to sunset, but in this case with the wildfire smoke, that adds to it. And again, I'll explain why that takes place coming up in a few minutes. But again, it's hazy, it's hot, it's humid today. The next few days actually not too bad. 70s, maybe even upper 60s for the cool down. early in the weekend. But overall, this is not too bad of a stretch, Gary. Sunshine here and there and summer-like temperatures. Gary?
A lot better than what we've been seeing.
Oh, easily.
Eric, thanks. The Herkimer Salvation Army hosted its 32nd.
Did you just your ticket yet?
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning. A beautiful day expected today. In fact, a very warm one, warmer than yesterday, with faded sunshine and humidity. We'll take a look at the photos submitted to us from yesterday's sunset, fiery red sunset from that wildfire smoke. This is taken by Michael. This photo taken by Jay. This amazing photo here by Charlene, and this photo here by Michelle. So thank you to all of you who submitted photos of this sun last night and this morning. And if you're wondering, why did that sun appear red? So, well, here's a little bit of science. So when the sun sends its light to Earth, it comes in a variety of wavelengths. It's not just the color white or yellowish. It's actually several wavelengths, including blue, yellow, and red. And the sunlight has to travel further to reach our eyes through the atmosphere when the sun begins to set. And when that's the case, you see these wavelengths right here. Now, blue and yellow and green are stronger wavelengths. They're shorter wavelengths. They will get captured by particles in the atmosphere, like smoke, a lot easier. The lower energy, longer wavelengths, like red or infrared, survive that trip. So you see here are all those colors in that spectrum here. And watch, of course, as that sun begins to set, less and less of those brighter or at least higher energy wavelengths survive until only orange and red survive. So in this case, with the wildfire smoke, there's so many particles in the atmosphere that all that blue, yellow, green, purple, those colors get scattered and they get reflected away until only red survives. So that's the case on why the sunsets and sunrises appeared red. Either way, to the forecast today, 61 already. We're expected to climb into the 80s by this afternoon, so no excuse to not go out and enjoy it today. Pool weather, ice cream weather. Temperatures expected to be in the upper 80s with high humidity. Something else too, haze. We've got that wildfire smoke again, and today it's going to cause milky skies in the atmosphere, a minor impact on air quality. For those of you who are unusually sensitive to particulates in the atmosphere, this might affect you more, but for most of us here in central New York, this will have little to no impact at all. So our Skycast shows plenty of sun today, temperatures peaking in the mid to upper 80s. We could hit 90, but I do think that smoke in the atmosphere is going to prevent a lot of that from, at least prevent that sunshine from really pushing a lot of energy into our area enough to reach 90. But either way, it'd be a warm day today, a warm day tomorrow. Those thunderstorms arrive between 2 and 5 p.m. And it cools down a little bit, only into the 70s though, so a pretty warm stretch heading into next week. We'll be right back.
Joining us, and Eric, today expected to be one of the hottest days of the, if not the hottest day of the year so far, right?
Yeah, it's already pretty warm out there right now. It's hazy, hot, and humid. The 3H is a live look outside. We can see some of those hazy skies from the wildfire smoke from Canada. It's not nearly as hazy as, say, at least farther east to the northeast, but still, we're keeping a close eye on that smog way up in the atmosphere. Temperatures this afternoon, 80 in Rome right now, 81 in Hamilton, 88 in Dansville, pushing 90 degrees. Our record high stands at 90 degrees, and we still have a few more hours of warmth here, usually around at this time of year, 1, 2 p.m., the warmest time of the day. So we have a couple of hours to potentially reach that record temperature. With the highs today expected to be in the upper 80s, that very faint haze is one of the few things that might be at least keeping those temperatures down. But it is dry out there. The Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar Today's highs, upper 80s. Lots of sunshine tonight. We're down into the 70s, eventually low 60s. Tomorrow, it's another warm day, but it won't be nearly as dry. We're tracking some thunderstorms and a return to unsettled weather as we head into the weekend. We'll break down the timing and if it will impact any activities in the weekend coming up in that full forecast. Gary?
Thanks for former Marcy Correctional Facility officers.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today's temperatures continue to climb. We are already at 80 in the Mohawk Valley. Some spots in upstate New York are close to 90. And with the first time we've witnessed or felt this warmth, I think it's a great day to go out and enjoy some ice cream and relax by the pool. Our official, of course, ice cream forecast. We've got a high of 86, 87 degrees today. Some spots, again, we're cutting it close to 90 degrees, so it's very warm. And if you have any plans outdoors today, make sure you find ways to stay cool. Grab an extra bottle of ice-cold water and make sure you stay hydrated as well. A look across the area on the Mesnet camera network, we have one common thing: blue skies, or I should say clear skies, with haze out in the distance. It's not very impactful, but it's still noticeable, and that is causing a very minor impact on air quality. Temperature in Oneonta, by the way, sitting at 79 very warm degrees. So here's a look at where the smoke is in the atmosphere. Obviously, as you head out closer to the wildfires that are causing it out in Canada, near Upper Peninsula of Michigan, this is where they have some pretty decent, or I should say pretty serious, air quality concerns up there. Here locally, really not too much. We're going to see some elevated smoke for the most part, but that's really about it today. So unless you're unusually sensitive to particulates in the atmosphere, pretty much the majority of us, little to no impact. So again, today's impact when it comes to wildfire smoke or any type of smoke in the atmosphere, really not that high. But we'll continue to track those numbers, and we'll have the latest air quality forecasts throughout the day today. So today, plenty of sun. Tonight, clear skies, lows in the 60s. A very mild overnight and a very warm start to your Thursday. We climb into the upper 70s, pushing low 80s again tomorrow, before by the afternoon, between roughly 2 and 5 p.m., we'll see some showers and storms roll through. Level 1 out of 5 risk for severe weather, so not a very high one, but we'll keep a close eye on how this storm system develops as it pushes east. Then, as we head into Friday, at least Friday morning starts out initially dry. Throughout the afternoon, a few more showers and storms might fire up, especially by the late evening. There's still some uncertainty as the exact timing of arrival for the Friday storms. And that, of course, plays a key role in how Saturday shapes up, because we have a low coming off the coast heading north. It's going to collide with another front. A lot of moving parts, and especially when you go 3 to 4 days out, the forecast for our very specific local area sometimes gets a little hazy. So, well, speaking of hazy, we have hazy skies today, but plenty of sun, dry weather. And although we're tracking storms tomorrow, they don't look to be anything terribly severe. We'll, of course, track it too, but, of course, nothing like what's going on in some parts of the
Yeah, for those who have a pool, enjoy it.
Yes, enjoy the pool. Definitely pool day today.
Eric, thanks. Well, the Midwest is bracing. Meteorologist Eric Gage joining us now. And Eric, we want to let people know that the Bikes and Barges event at Lock 20 that we talked about yesterday during News Talk has been postponed. No new date as of yet, but it is due to unforeseen circumstances. It is being put on by the Oneida County History Center, so they will announce a new date when they get one, but it's not because of the heat.
Yes, the heat is no issue today, at least initially. In fact, look at those temperatures right now. It is in the low 80s. We will expect to see those temperatures continue to climb into the upper 80s in the next few hours. Of course, with plenty of sun, hazy conditions, keyword hazy conditions, of course, in that wildfire smoke. This is our photo of the day, taken in Secaucus of the red sunset yesterday, and it was a pretty picturesque one. And if you're wondering, well, what causes this red sun to form in the sky? Well, here's the answer. We have the sunlight coming into our atmosphere, and it doesn't show as just a white color. It's a wide variety of colors at different wavelengths. Blue is a shorter wavelength than, say, red. So when the sun begins to set, those shorter wavelengths get caught in the particles in the atmosphere and scattered. So maybe you think you add more particles like smoke in the atmosphere, it'll block out more of those shorter wavelengths. The color red is the longest and has the least energy, so that doesn't get caught in that scattering, and that's why when the sun sets, there's more particles in the atmosphere. That's what gives the sun the color red. So if you're wondering why, well, that's the science. And we are tracking that smoke, the latest on air quality, and the latest on that rainfall potential tomorrow coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Fire crews were dispatched to Danfoss in Marcy.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon. It's a very warm, humid, and hazy day out there today, and we'll definitely enjoy the dry weather. It's now day 3, and in fact, it's going to be expected to climb into the upper 80s this afternoon. If you're wondering, the record high of 90 was set back in 1943. So we have quite a while since we've hit 90 on this day. We could hit it. It's a bit of a long shot, but as long as the skies remain clear enough, there's not enough haze in the atmosphere, it would be surprising if Utica Rome hit that number, at least tied it, maybe not break it, but either way we'll see. But it's going to be a great day for pool weather, ice cream weather, you name it, anything outdoors. Make sure you find ways to stay cool, but you can get out and enjoy this summer-like weather out there. A common sight here on the Mesnet camera network are those hazy skies, but also dry conditions. We can see it right here, live looking at Oneonta right now. Temperature still roughly hitting the 79-degree mark. It's going to be a little bit before it eventually reaches the mid-80s here in Oneonta. But again, here's where the wildfire smoke stands. Currently, we're seeing an influx of it from the west. It's not a whole lot. It's noticeable. This really isn't impacting air quality that much, but you might notice a very faint smoky smell in the atmosphere. That the strongest, or at least say the heaviest of that smoke, still staying out in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan and, of course, near Canada. For now, we're not looking at any major impacts to air quality, but if you are unusually sensitive, for folks that have to deal with anything respiratory, this could impact you, but again, the levels aren't really that high. So for much of the area, this has little to no impact. So today, we climb into the upper 80s, pushing 90 degrees. That south wind at play here today. By tonight, it's pretty mild. In fact, you're going to have a warm start tomorrow. Might not even need a jacket at all. We're in the low 60s by 6 a.m., eventually pushing the 80-degree mark again tomorrow. Then by tomorrow evening, we'll see a few scattered showers and storms, roughly between 2 and 5 p.m. These have a very low but non-zero chance of turning severe, meaning that there could be some stronger wind gusts and some heavier downpours embedded with them, but it's a very low chance. We'll keep a close eye on it. Then by Thursday night, things quiet down a little bit. We start out dry Friday, and this is where the forecast gets a little bit wishy-washy. We have a system moving in from the southwest, or southeast, I should say, up the Atlantic coast. Now, the position of it is going to determine whether this frontal boundary that arrives Friday evening will stay south or push north, and that has a big impact on Saturday's weather, because it's either going to be a pretty rainy one, or the rain ends by noontime and we dry out. So we'll fine-tune that forecast for you the next couple of days. Either way, what isn't changing are those temperatures remaining pretty warm in the low 70s, maybe upper 60s at the coldest part for the daytime highs. And for now, no frost expected for the foreseeable future. Gary?
Eric, thanks. We are back with News Talk. Our guest today,
Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis. Turning out to be a very warm day. We almost hit 90 degrees today. It wasn't quite as humid as it would be in the middle of the summer, but still a hot day. 89 is the current temperature. That's the high so far. We could hit 90 in the next hour. We'll have to see how things play out. But either way, very nice day, very warm, and again, looking at lots and lots of sunshine. The air quality is a little bit less than yesterday. It is more noticeable with the wildfire smoke, but it's still not a problem. Unless you're sensitive to this, you wouldn't even know the difference. We have a cold front moving in from the west that's going to push the smoke out and bring those levels down. And we do have a little bit of a haze out there this evening. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Things look pretty quiet. It's going to be a very warm night tonight, only in the overnight lows only in the 60s. We're tracking a cold front that arrives tomorrow. It could produce a few thunderstorms late in the day. The weather patterns look unsettled as we head towards the weekend. Temperatures in the 80s this evening, feeling like the middle of summer. Nice evening to enjoy. We are tracking some wet weather ahead. A look at the forecast coming out. Kristen, back to you.
U.S. tariffs on...
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. Very warm day today. Feeling like summer, the middle of summer. A live look in downtown Utica. It's been a beautiful day. You've noticed less in terms of smoke, at least in the air, and the skies are less hazy. Temperatures are in the upper 80s this afternoon. The air quality is a little bit less than yesterday. If you're really sensitive to changes in air quality, you might notice it a little bit more today, but it's not expected to become a problem here over the next 24 hours as our wind direction changes. Putting in the air conditioner, probably a good idea. If you haven't done so already, it's going to be another warm day tomorrow. Temperatures in the mid-80s. The humidity will be rising over the next 24 hours, and we will notice more in the way of humidity tomorrow. But it's going to ease back heading into the weekend as cooler weather works in. And so temperatures will become a lot cooler here heading into Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. If you're heading out to the Harbor Point celebration tomorrow in Utica, there's going to be thunderstorms late in the day, but I think it's going to be after 5 p.m. and it's the chance of storms. We're not expecting anything significant or widespread. Temperatures will be in the upper 70s to low 80s, but there is the chance for storms, so you definitely want to keep an eye on the sky. You can also download our WKTV weather app for any alerts should we get them. Today's record high, 90 degrees, so we came very, very close. Today's temperature, 89. It's possible we could still hit 90 in the next hour. Again, this all comes from Griffiths and Rome. That's the spot that we record, keep these records. So even though Westmoreland's 90, that wouldn't count. Westerville 88, Deansboro 87, Little Falls 89, Cross Southern Valleys, Sherburne 91, Oneonta 84, Cooperstown 88. So again, a very warm afternoon. We're looking at dry conditions. If you're looking out to get out and enjoy this evening, the weather looks great. Sunset nowadays after 8:30, so we get those nice long days. Tomorrow we're tracking a cold front approaching from the west. So we're dry tonight. Overnight lows drop down into the 60s, so a very warm night. Tomorrow starts out with sunshine, temperatures in the 70s. That round of thunderstorms will be late in the day, and it's after 5 p.m. And Skycast just kind of showing a broken line here. I think the chance is going to be there for everyone, but maybe not everybody gets thunderstorms tomorrow. Temperatures will drop into the 60s tomorrow night. On Friday, I'm expecting more widespread showers and storms. Skycast not doing a great job, or at least I disagree with this. I think there's going to be more activity than what it's showing. On and off thunderstorms, especially in the afternoon, is what I'm expecting here for Friday afternoon. Clear skies tonight, low of 64. Tomorrow, I'm looking at storms late in the day, 86. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Showers, storms Friday afternoon, 75. Showers Saturday, 73. So it looks like our streak of rain at some point on the weekends will continue. But Sunday looks nice. More scattered showers and storms return Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday with temperatures in the 70s. So yes, some wet weather, actually dodging wet weather. No particular day looks to be a washout. Maybe late Friday into early Saturday, the wettest stretch.
Okay. Bill, thank you.
Thank you, Bill.
The Midwest is bracing for more severe weather after intense storms swept through the region last night.
Flash flooding and reports of tornadoes. Shaquille Brewster reports from Missouri.
Hi there. Well, there was real concern when we heard those tornado sirens going off in the Kansas City area. But today, this is the extent of the damage that you're seeing. You see the top of this tree broken off, fallen into this commercial building behind me. It's damage that you're also seeing in some residential areas as well. Now, we know the National Weather Service, they're going to be doing their assessments today, trying to follow the path and the track of what they're calling a likely tornado. And we also know that across the state line in Kansas, you have folks cleaning up after some pretty devastating flooding. There was that dramatic video of a woman being pulled out of the window of her car. Wichita Fire Department saying that they responded to some 77 submersion calls in that city alone. We know the weather turning deadly in the Dallas area, where overnight a man was found dead in his car that was trapped by some quickly rising flood waters. Meanwhile, this is all part of a system that led to power being knocked out to thousands of people. It caused travel delays at airports. It even delayed the Indiana Pacers as they tried to get to Oklahoma City ahead of the start of tomorrow's NBA Finals. We know that some 10 million people will be under flood alerts as we go throughout the day, as the system, this wet weather, continues to move further east. Back to you.
All right, Shaquille, thank you. Coming up, our local runner, Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis. Happy Global Running Day.
Yes, I can say that on a day like today, it's pretty tough to do a run in the middle of the afternoon. We've got some pretty hot weather. Temperatures today close to 90 degrees. Another thing to keep in mind as we get into summertime is how hot the pavement gets, especially when you have the full sun. On days like today, the concrete, the asphalt, the roads, they get really hot. They could be over 125 degrees to 140 degrees. Just be mindful of your pets. You don't want to walk your dog in the middle of the afternoon when the sun is blazing on a day where temperatures are near 90 degrees. You could injure your pet's paws by being on, even for a relatively short walk. Just keep it to the evening time or the early mornings. That's when the sun angle is a lot lower and we don't have this effect happening quite as much. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. It's dry, and again, it's going to be a much more comfortable evening to go out for a walk, especially after sunset, which nowadays is after 8:30. Tonight's featured dogs Cody and Larissa from Whitesboro hanging out on the couch. If you want to be part of this, head to Skycast WKTV on Facebook. This is brought to you by Nissan. Jason, back to you.
All right, Bill, thank you. AAA is out with a new...
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. A cold front tomorrow, and this will put an end to the very warm weather we're experiencing today. This will create some showers and thunderstorms as we head into the late afternoon and early evening. A lot of this is going to be after 5 p.m. And our area is in marginal risk for severe weather, so it's a relatively low chance. And we're watching the possibility of a few gusty winds and locally heavy rain. And it's a region-wide risk, but again, it's pretty low. It's not something we're super concerned about. But if you are going to be outside tomorrow, have a way to get weather warnings and information should anything change or happen for your location. You can download our Storm Tracker 2 weather app. This will tell you if heavy rain is very close to you or if there's thunder or if there's lightning. It actually can tell you how far away the latest lightning strike is. If it's within, I think it's about 10 miles of your location, it'll notify you. And it's, again, very, very helpful if you're going to be outdoors, really any time throughout the summer, but especially on days like tomorrow. Live look in Oneonta, temperature 84 degrees. The haze isn't quite as much as what we saw yesterday. In fact, very vivid sunsets and sunrises have been noted here in central New York. This picture from Michael Forbes. Look at the beautiful color. That's caused by the wildfire smoke. I don't think the sun is going to be quite as colorful tonight as it was last night, but it still might be pretty nice. Worth checking out. If you haven't got a chance to cut the lawn, you're going to start to run out of opportunities here. We're going to get back into a more unsettled weather pattern. It's not going to be the washouts that we dealt with in May, but we're going to be looking at some wet weather late tomorrow, Friday and Saturday. Our MoCast is brought to you by Clinton Tractor. It's dry out there, beautiful evening. A very warm evening in central New York. Our sky watchers are checking in. Bob and Clinton's 90 degrees. Whitesboro, Kirsten 87, 89, and Mike and New Hartford checking in. Jeff and Mohawk 87. Worcester 86, Westford, Dave with 83, Paints Hollow 85. Tracking this cold front approaching from the west tomorrow. It's very quiet tonight. In fact, it's going to feel like a summer night. Good night to run the air conditioner if you put it in, or if you have it. Temperatures will drop down into the mid-60s. Tomorrow, we start out with sunshine. First part of the day looks nice, but watch what happens later in the day, tracking a few showers and thunderstorms. And again, this is mainly after 4 or 5 o'clock. This moves to the east. We'll get a chance to cool down tomorrow night. And then on Friday, I'm expecting scattered showers and thunderstorms, especially in the afternoon and evening. I think this front's going to stall and produce some wet weather before we start the weekend. Clear tonight, low of 64. Pretty nice day tomorrow for most of it, but again, late in the day, thunderstorms. Keep an eye out for those. 86. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Shower storms Friday into early Saturday, so it does look like the weekend starts out wet. Sunday looks beautiful, 75. Showers, a few thunderstorms return Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, with high temperatures in the low to mid 70s. We'll be right back.
First look at the forecast at 6. Here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Turned out to be a very warm day. We hit 89 degrees. It's currently 88. The humidity is not as high as it would be in the middle of the summer, but again, a very warm, if not hot, afternoon across central New York. We were just 1 degree shy of the record today. Air quality has been a very minor issue. If you're very sensitive to this, you might have noticed a change. Wildfire smoke still hanging around. It's not as hazy as it was yesterday, at least higher in the atmosphere. But the smoke is a little bit closer to the surface. It's not expecting to be a big deal. And with a cold front coming in tomorrow, that should move it out, anything that's left over. Live look at the Yorkville Battery, Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Things look dry. It's looking to be a very nice evening here in central New York. A very warm night tonight, feeling like the middle of summer. Thunderstorms arrive late tomorrow. A couple of them could be on the stronger side, but the overall risk for severe weather is low. We're looking at another unsettled weather pattern heading into the weekend and beyond. Temperatures in the mid-80s this evening. Enjoy it, because again, changes are ahead. I've got to look at the forecast coming up. Chris, back to you.
A dog named Rhett is on a...
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
This hot weather is short-lived for now, but it does linger into tomorrow. If you're heading out to the Harbor Point celebration in Utica, temperatures will be in the upper 70s to low 80s. There is the chance of a thunderstorm, but it's late in the day, and it doesn't look to be widespread. The overall risk for severe weather is low, and so we're not making tomorrow an alert day, but be aware that there could be a few thunderstorms in the afternoon. A few of them could produce gusty winds and locally heavy rain. Again, the timing is going to be the late afternoon at the earliest. A lot of these are here for about 5 to 9 p.m., maybe even later. We're looking at some of the newest data. If you are going to be outdoors, it's helpful to have a way to get weather information on the go. You can download our Storm Tracker 2 weather app. If you are outdoors and there's lightning nearby, it'll actually tell you exactly how far away some of the closer lightning strikes are. So it can be very, very helpful throughout the summer. Time to put in the air conditioner if you have it. Looking at a very warm day today. It's still pretty warm tomorrow. It's more humid tomorrow. We do get some relief as that cold front arrives heading into the weekend. By the way, we didn't quite beat the record. It was close, though. 89 degrees today. The record 90, 1943 is the record. Had a typo here at 5 o'clock. 1942 is actually 1943. Looking at ahead, the cold front's also going to push out the wildfire smoke. It's been giving us a beautiful sunrise and sunset over the past couple of days. This picture from Michael Forbes. I don't think it's going to be quite as vibrant tonight, but there's a little bit of wildfire smoke in the air, and so we should see a colorful sunset. Live look at the Yorkville Battery, Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Things look quiet. Skywatchers checking in. 90 in Clinton, Whitesboro 87, Norway, Donna 83, Cooperstown 88 degrees. Here comes the cold front. That's going to put an end to the heat. Looking at our Storm Tracker 2 Skycast, we're dry tonight. It's going to feel like the middle of summer. Overnight lows only in the 60s. Start out tomorrow dry. First part of the day looks really nice. It's noticeably more humid. A few pop-up thunderstorms arrive late in the day, and it doesn't affect all areas. I think this is going to be a broken line of storms. We'll see, again, some gusty winds and locally heavy rain as it moves through. The front stalls on Friday, and I think we're tracking widespread storms Friday afternoon. We'll keep an eye on that. Temperatures climb into the mid-70s. Clear tonight, low of 64. Tomorrow, storms arrive late. A warm and humid day, 86 for the high. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Showers, storms Friday afternoon and evening. The weekend starts out wet with showers early Saturday, mid-70s Sunday. Scattered showers and storms Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, but it's not the type that lasts all day. Just hit or miss for the most part early next week.
All right, Bill, thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Still to come on News Channel. First look at the forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis. We've had some great sunset pictures.
Yeah.
No different here. This one from Delta Lake.
Yeah, beautiful. The smoke in the wildfire smoke in the air, not quite as thick today. So the sunset was still very pretty. We're tracking another day like this tomorrow, but a cold front will be arriving. That is going to put an end to the heat. By the way, we hit 89 today, a very warm afternoon. When the sun is shining, just a reminder, the pavement can get really hot. How hot are we talking about? We're talking about temperatures that could burn your pet's paws, 125 to 140 degrees on a day like today, just because the pavement absorbs all the sunlight, and especially around noontime is when the sun is most intense. Just a reminder, don't walk your dog in the middle of the day. Either do it in the morning or in the evening when things are a lot more comfortable. Live look at the Yorkville Battery, Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Things look pretty quiet. 75 degrees is the current temperature. It feels like a summer night, and we're looking at overnight lows that'll drop into the mid-60s. In fact, it's a good night to run the fan or maybe the air conditioner, cool off the house. We are tracking some thunderstorms for tomorrow afternoon. I've got to look at the forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. New tonight, the Susquehanna SPC.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. If you're heading out to the Harbor Point celebration tomorrow in the evening, the weather might be affected by thunderstorms. So we're tracking a couple of them late in the day, but don't let that stop you. I think the risk is relatively low, and it's going to be late in the day. We're tracking the possibility of some gusty winds and locally heavy rain, but the overall risk is pretty low. Storm Prediction Center has Central New York in what's called a marginal risk, which means, again, it's on the low end. Never say never, though. We're always keeping an eye on things, and if you're going to be outside tomorrow, you're going to want to have a way to get weather warnings in case things change, or even if there's just heavy rain or lightning nearby, you'll be able to get notifications if that's the case instantly by downloading our Storm Tracker 2 weather app. That can come in handy throughout the summer season. Air conditioner, well, if it hasn't been put in today, you might want to put it in tomorrow. Inevitably, we're going to get into the very warm part of the year soon. The warmest days look to be, of course, today and tomorrow before things start to cool down as we head towards the end of the week. We missed the record by 1 degree, 90 our record high. Today we hit 89, so the record stands set back in 1943. Looking to cut the lawn early tomorrow is best. We get into a wet weather pattern heading into the weekend. It's not the rain that we've been dealing with, the nonstop rain, but the chance for showers will be part of our forecast. Our MoCast is brought to you by Clinton Tractor. It is a warm summer evening, that's for sure. Temperatures are in the mid-70s at 10 o'clock in the evening, and we'll drop into the mid-60s tonight. Things stay dry. We'll have a look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Things are going to change. This cold front moves in tomorrow, and it does bring us some thunderstorms. We remain dry tonight. Overnight lows drop down into the mid-60s. Tomorrow, we start out with sunshine, and we will finish with a few showers and thunderstorms. I think the best chance would be after, say, 5 p.m., and not all of us will be affected by this. I think we're looking at scattered storms for the most part. Tomorrow night, we drop down into the low 60s. Friday, the front stalls. I think we're going to be seeing rounds of thunderstorms in the afternoon and evening with temperatures in the mid-70s. Clear tonight, a low of 64. Tomorrow, storms arrive late. It is a humid day and it is warm, a high of 86. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Showers, thunderstorms Friday, 75. I think the better chance is going to be in the afternoon. On Saturday, we do start out wet. Showers in the morning. Hopefully, we'll get a chance to dry out later in the day, 73. Sunshine Sunday, 75. Showers, a few pop-up showers and storms early next week with highs near 70. We'll be right back.
First look at the forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis. Great day today. Beautiful sunset, too.
Yeah, nice finish. We did have wildfire smoke high in the atmosphere, created another nice sunset. Minor effect on air quality. The big story, the warm temperatures. We hit 89 degrees today, 1 degree shy of 90. By the way, when it is this warm and we have the sunshine like we did today, just a reminder, the pavement can get really hot. Did you know it could get as hot as 140 degrees? The sun absorbs the road, because it's dark, absorbs all that energy from the sun. And if you're walking your dog in the middle of the day, this could be dangerous. So we're asking people to not walk their dogs in the middle of the afternoon. Either do it in the morning, do it in the evening, when it's a lot more comfortable. And again, when the sun angle is a lot lower. Usually after 5 o'clock or so is when the sun angle matters a lot less. Live look at the Yorkville Battery, Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Things look quiet across the region. We have a cold front on the way, and that is going to produce a few thunderstorms late tomorrow. Mostly clear tonight. Current temperature 70 degrees. Good night to run the air conditioner or the fan. We're looking at overnight lows in the mid-60s. A very summer-like night ahead. Again, we are tracking an end to this along with a few thunderstorms. So look at the forecasts coming out. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. New tonight.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
We've got another nice day tomorrow. There is the chance for thunderstorms, but I'm looking at some of the newest data, and it looks late. It's trending later in the day. In fact, maybe after sunset. So if you're heading out to the Harbor Point celebration tomorrow, I actually think we're going to be in okay shape. I think the risk for any storms will be late in the day. It's going to be a warm, humid afternoon, too. Temperatures will make their way into the mid-80s. And again, a noticeable increase in the humidity compared to today. We do have the risk for storms tomorrow. The overall severe weather risk looks low. Could have a couple of storms produce gusty winds, locally heavy rain, but not too concerned about anything big or anything widespread. We always keep an eye on things, though. And you can, too, by downloading our Storm Tracker 2 weather app if you're outdoors and anything happens nearby, any heavy rain or lightning or any weather alerts. You'll get them to your phone right on the app. Again, you can download that, and it's free. And again, it comes in handy not only on days like tomorrow, but throughout the summer. Putting in the air conditioner, that also comes in handy. If you didn't do it today, no need to wait. We've got warm weather that's going to linger around, and it's just a matter of time before it returns, although it does look a little bit cooler heading into the weekend. We missed today's record high by 1 whole degree. 89 was the high today, 90. This is a record high back in 1943. There's a reason why these are records. They're usually pretty hard to beat, even when everything lines up. Looking at cutting the lawn, and you didn't want to do it today because it's too hot. Well, tomorrow, do it early because we have a weather pattern that looks pretty wet. Showers, thunderstorms will be arriving Friday and Saturday. Our MoCast is brought to you by Clinton Tractor. 70 degrees at 11 o'clock at night. Not too bad. Actually pretty comfortable out there. Looking at dry conditions tonight. Again, that cold front comes in from the west tomorrow. Looking at dry weather overnight, temperatures drop down into the mid-60s. Nice tomorrow for the majority of the day. Again, I'm expecting thunderstorms to arrive closer to sunset, and they're looking scattered in nature, which means not everybody gets them. The cold front arrives late tomorrow night, and it does cool off Friday. That front stalls, and I'm expecting pop-up thunderstorms throughout Friday afternoon. Even though Skycast doesn't have it, I think it's going to be there. I think tomorrow, Friday afternoon, we're going to be dealing with scattered showers and storms, and probably more than one round with this front stalling. Clear skies tonight, low of 64. Tomorrow, storms arrive late. It's 86 for the high. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Showers into the weekend. Saturday, the wet weather's early, 73. Will dry out Sunday, 75. Showers and a few thunderstorms Monday,